Okay guys, so we're looking at some counters when our opponent has us inside a double-seated cross ashi. First thing we always got to do is hide the heel, of course. So in this case, because my heel is the potential point of contact with the floor, I've got to turn my leg around his hips and back heel, okay? That's going to change when we go belly down. When we go belly down, so he initiates the roll to chase my heel. If I keep that curl, my knee, which is now the potential point of contact with the floor, it is touching the floor and he can expose my heel very, very easily because he's in a backside cross ashi. We counter this by, as soon as our knee is the potential point of contact with the floor, we extend our leg all the way. Okay, now in this backside cross ashi situation, we have a lot of good potential counters, specifically back takes, which are available to us. So here, my left hand grabs a C grip on the foot. I pull my left leg out. Now I'm going to take my left leg and I go up and over. I don't fall out of my hip. I stay up on my knees so that my knee is in between his elbow and knee, and I've got a good turtle position. If you see what my right leg here is hooking at his ankle, I can make a seatbelt grip. And now from here, all I have to do is fall down to my left hip, pull, and I can get the bottom hook in, hip out. And if he stays down, I can get my second hook. Sometimes he might come up. It's okay, we follow up, and now we've got our first hook in, and we can get to work getting the second hook in. First thing first, whenever we're in a cross ashi, we have to be hiding our heel. That comes before any counters. So we hide the heel. Now he's going to chase me. As soon as we're belly down, I extend my leg. If it keeps curl, he's got a good shot at heel exposure. Okay, so it's got to extend. Now here, I grab this foot, I free this leg, so that now I can take the leg and bring it over his lower back, okay? And now it goes here in between his elbow and knee. All right? This is a really, really good turtle position. Get the seatbelt grip, fall down to my left hip, and the first hook goes in. You're either going to get the second hook right away, or he's going to come up. We follow, and now we're in a good position to work to get the second hook.
All right, guys, we're going to look at an example now of Craig Jones using the back take we just demonstrated in the black basement. All right, so John Blank on bottom is going to thread his leg over the top and enter into a cross ashi. First thing to understand is, what is Craig doing just to not get heel hooked from the outset, okay? So what he's doing is what we call, he's hiding his heel, okay? So basically what Craig wants to do, as much as he can, is the current relationship between his knee and John's hips is exactly what Craig wants to maintain. Which is to say that basically it's the back of Craig's knee, not the front of his knee, that's facing into John Blank's hips. Okay, if that relationship was changed, if it was the front of Craig Jones's knee, which was facing into John Blank's hips, he would be prone to heel exposure. Okay, John would be in a very good situation to expose Craig's heel. Okay, so obviously not what he wants. What John is doing is he's grasping Craig's foot, attempting to hold it in place. We call this the center chest position. Okay, from here, there's some things he can do. For instance, he could some hand fighting sequences or grip exchange sequences he can use in order to attempt to pass off into heel exposure here. For instance, like Gary Tonin used this very successfully against Wagner Hosha at EBI. Okay, however, you know, get somebody like Craig, it's a hard thing to pull off. If you're very, very defensively savvy, it's a tough thing to pull this strategy off to gain heel exposure. Okay, that's not to say it can't work. It can. I just gave an example of it working, but I think when you get to like a really high defensive level, it stops working. Okay, part of that is because what Craig is doing is he's constantly moving. Okay, it's hard to pull that strategy off when the guy's constantly moving. Anyway, so okay, so let's look at here. So when they roll, every time they roll and John stops in a belly down position, if you look at John's body, that's essentially a turtle position. Okay, obviously Craig is currently unable to capitalize upon the back exposure that John is giving him because his back's also facing John. But if Craig's able to somehow turn his chest to face John, okay, he can capitalize upon the back exposure there, which is what he does with this back step motion, okay? At the same time as he's turning his chest to face John, what this back step motion does is it frees Craig's knee from John's knee line. Let's understand the concept of the knee line, because it's really simple, but a lot of people they don't seem to understand it. They use the terminology incorrectly. The knee line refers to the line connecting the two knees of the offensive man. It would be inaccurate to say that you freed your own knee line, right, when you're the defensive man. That's not how we use the term. The term refers to the line connecting the knees of the offensive man. So we escape from the offensive man's knee line, okay? So here, what Craig is going to do is he's going to turn his chest to face into John Blank's back. Essentially, he's going to then gain a turtle position, okay? At the same time as he does this, his back step motion of his left leg is going to be able to basically to allow Craig's knee to escape from John's knee line, okay? Had a brain fart there for a second. And you see here, now Craig's got a turtle position, all right? That's basically what happens when you perform this move. You go from being inside someone's cross ashi to gaining a turtle, okay? And it's it starts off with good defense, okay? You got to hide your heel intelligently. You can't just be, you can't, you know, the fundamentals have to come first, right? If you don't know this, you're not going to survive long enough to get to the next part, all right? Another big part of this back take has to do with what Craig does with his secondary leg. If this secondary leg is controlled by John's two legs, so for instance, if John was able to hook with these legs at the inside of Craig's knee here, Craig would never be able to backstep, right? Because it would be controlled. However, because it's free, he's free to do the backstep, right? So at the same time as Craig has two initial defensive concerns, okay? When you're inside someone's cross ashi, you should have two initial defensive concerns. With your primary leg, you ought to be hiding your heel pretty much at all costs, okay? That's the single most important thing, not getting inside heel hooks, okay? After that, the next thing is going to be freeing your secondary leg, both because he can apply leg locks to it, like secondary leg locks, okay? The leg locks that are not the inside heel hook, these are still a threat, which we need to take account of. And the second thing, I would say the more important thing, is that if he controls the secondary leg, he controls your body. Okay, you got to free that secondary leg so he can't restrain your movement. All right, Craig does a very good job. As soon as he gets caught in the cross ashi, he does two things. He hides his heel, and look, he's already freeing that secondary leg. All right, now from here, he can bring it up and over, and he can take John's back.
Reach underneath. I grab this to start. So now I have diagonal control. I'm controlling both sides of his body. All right? Now this hand goes over the top, and I grab my hands together. Don't grab like a loose grip. Try to get a deep grip around the wrists like a butterfly grip, okay? Now here, I'm going to push with my elbow. He falls to his hip, and we get that second hook. We get our seatbelt. We could maybe go right into a strangle if he's not paying attention.
Okay, guys, so we looked at how to use a backstep motion from when we're stuck inside a cross ashi and take someone's back, but we also looked at how oftentimes what's going to happen is we're going to gain a turtle position. Okay, so we're not going to get like a true back control position yet. We're going to expose their back, but then we're going to have a turtle position, oftentimes with one hook in place. What can we do from this situation to convert the turtle position with one hook into a true back control position? Well, one of the best techniques we can use is a power half, okay? I just demonstrated it, and now we're going to see Gordon Ryan using it at the No-Gi Pan Ams. So Gordon's going to take his left arm over the top, and it creates a mechanic with a lot of force, which allows him to break the defensive man down to his hips. Okay, so the left arm goes over the top. He connects his hands. You can connect your hands in a variety of ways. You can go with a gable grip. You can go with, here's going a 10-finger grip. Whatever feels right to you. All right. I usually go for a like a gable grip or a butterfly grip, but obviously, you know, Gordon's very good, and what he's working with here gets the job done very effectively. All right. The advantage of the 10-finger grip is that it's wider. Okay. The advantage of the gable grip and the butterfly grip is that they are more shallow and therefore usually tighter. Okay. But with the gable grip, it's going to be wider, therefore you have more surface area of your opponent's body that you can cover. Anyway, so what basically is happening is Gordon's left elbow is going to drive this way, okay? And when the head moves, okay, the shoulders move with it. Basically his right shoulder, his right shoulder is going to go back as the head goes this way, and that breaks him down to his hips. You see, look, So Gordon's left elbow goes in this direction. That's going to, as that pushes in that direction, this shoulder comes in this direction, and the man falls down to his hips. And Gordon's able to get both his hooks, scores points, and ultimately win the match.